the fair and impartial treatment of all people, ensuring equal access to opportunities and resources. Okay, no problem with that. Inclusion, the practice of creating a welcoming and respectful environment where everyone feels valued, heard, empowered to participate fully.
I feel like that part can be interpreted based on what your not it's a less strong. I feel like agenda is a little bit too strong, but whatever your motivating, whatever motivates you to speak on something. I feel like with that part, it's they are leaning more into making sure that, like you said, I want to be able to flaunt how my personal views and my personal life, and make that my outward expression, versus just feeling comfortable to talk. Period. Like regardless of, I feel like the fact that that is included in there is like, it should be like a common sense thing. It's like, wouldn't you want everybody to want to be, feel comfortable speaking up, during a meeting or being heard? Or
we have anxiety now and all types of stuff that you can get prescription drugs for. And my thing is that I recall back in the day is that you actually went through classes, and it was part of a home economics class or something, job courses that they would teach you how to be an employee, because not everybody gets it. And I find it funny to this day, is like after going through managementship and, just being around younger generations, it's like, to me, it's like this generation doesn't know how to work or do things in a proper manner that a manager or a successful business would want to run. Therefore, it's like I always wondered that. I was like, because we were taught, like literally at school, when you go to work, you prim and proper, you dress, your nails are done, your hair is combed, you're ready for the day, you get there early, you set yourself up. Yeah, it was programming for you to go work at a business, but it was the proper programming for you to work at a business. So my question to this is based off of this information in terms of DEI. It's like you're protecting people that normally I wouldn't want to work with. And it's not because they're bad people. It's because I like getting things done at my job. And if I have to rely on somebody that's too afraid to, raise their hand or make a suggestion on how this day could go by quicker, that's causing me more time. That's causing the business more time. That's a setback in a process, and it would cause a bottleneck somewhere, somehow. So to me, it's like, okay, so shouldn't these people, outside of having to celebrate of who they are, actually learn working or functioning business skills in order to be in a workplace to collect a paycheck, versus talking about some, hey, I'm waving this rainbow colored flag and y'all need to let me in.
Whew. That's a whole nother topic,
but I mean, it's part of the DEI. That was part of it said sexual orientation, so that was part of the lineup.
All righty.
I don't know. I think that is something that I think that's one of those things that has just evolved over time, because of just the way that society has evolved from back in the day when they were teaching those things. That's just really not the way that the workplace operates anymore. Like, the workplace does not operate, for better or worse. It's not, I'm not saying that it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just the way that it is. Like, the workplace does not operate from the perspective of like a don't ask, don't tell. Like, hey, we don't talk about, X, Y, and Z here.
But do you think it's more of DEI to trying to hit these quotas? Because I know we don't want to say there's a quota there, but, they're the ones, these companies are the ones that's saying there's a quota there. The DEI quotas, where they have to meet DEI standards.
Like I said, I think that should be just folded into like just like the regular, just like when you go through like sexual harassment training, recognizing what's sexual harassment, recognizing what's, discrimination, like you have to do those I have to do those trainings, at my job.
I gotta do those trainings.
And it's just a part of, like, I remember doing those trainings before all of this, the DEI stuff became like a big thing. And even before the world was more accepting and acknowledging of different orientations and genders and identities and stuff. Yeah. It's like the thing was, hey, we want to make a safe working environment for everybody. So if you make somebody feel uncomfortable, that's a problem, regardless of what that reason, is. Like if you intentionally doing stuff to, to offend people or, to make somebody feel unsafe at work, then that's a problem.
Y'all would have never made it through the 80s. These generations.
I'm an 80s baby.
Well, y'all so weak now.
Like I said, that's just the way that the world has the world has evolved.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think it's not. I'm not speaking on it as whether it's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying that when you go to work, you don't want to be made to feel like you're less than because you have a different lifestyle than somebody else does, which I don't think is anything wrong with. But at the same time, I don't think that you should be forced, or you should be forced to. But do you feel like or experience other people's personal lives like that?
But I mean, I still agree. I'm like, it's none of my business. Like,
exactly, that's my point. I'm like, I don't think you should be forced to. I don't want to hear about whatever you're doing in your personal life, whether it's your sexual orientation, whether it's your religion, whether it's your politics. Right. I don't care. Like, I'm here to do my job, and I shouldn't have to be forced to sit down at the lunch table and listen to you, talk about this stuff,
Yeah, and then you don't want to listen, and they think you've been offensive, and
like if I get up and leave from the table, then all of a sudden, he's homophobic, or he's xenophobic, or he's
that to me, was
whatever.
Real takeoff to what I consider to be crazy. I was like, because it doesn't matter what I say, but it seemed to be real crazy is the fact that somebody, if you didn't recognize them as what they claim to be, and now all of a sudden it's just like, oh, you effed up. It's like, oh, you didn't recognize me as a woman. I'm standing here with breast and a beard, and it's like you didn't say ma'am. It's like you just assumed that I was a sir, and now I'm going to sue you. It's like, okay, now y'all go doing a little bit extra, because I make mistakes all the time, and so I'm not going to sit up there and try and pay attention to somebody have on pearl earrings or not, so I can make sure I call them a ma'am or a sir. Your beard is thick as mine.
But do you think we're in a position to where, because all it takes, from what I've been saying, all it takes is one time for them to, he called me a sir, he called me a ma'am, and now you going to HR.
No,
I'm like, I didn't even know. I'm sorry, and now you got to go fill out some paperwork. One time, like they could. It's really like.
Well, that's what Trump did when he ended all that DEI stuff. Is that you can't get fired for that anymore. Maybe in some areas where they still believe in it, but for the majority of the part, everybody was willing to dish that super quick. And I believe the reason why is that nobody was feeling it to begin with.
Didn't it, when he did that only applied to federal jobs though?
Yeah, it don't
apply to private companies.
Private, private companies.
Yeah, because he can't.
Private companies hopped on the boat. And
they can do that, but that's their choice. He can't mandate. But
there was a lot of companies that did that.
No, I mean,
but it's not a. He ended that thing. He made it okay now.
No, I mean,
but when he makes an order and say, hey, this is not going to be allowed anymore, that only applies legally to governmental jobs.
No, I mean,
but like I said, it did make it. Let me let you start. It did make it okay for the companies who already had issues with it, but who were afraid to buck against the liberal system. It made them feel okay to go ahead and finally say, all right, cool, now we can end this ridiculousness.
Like, because I seen it before. I seen where a new employee get hired, they identify as they, them, but you go around and you introduce the staff person to all your staff, but of course days goes on and a person misgender them or misidentify them. The first time they go to HR and make a complaint. Now HR like, hey, we don't want no problem. We need you to sign these papers for you getting written up. I'm like, the first time